Hey team, happy Wednesday. This week we have our drive phase, so we're focusing on power and endurance. So it's gonna be a sweaty one. For today's signature circuit workout, we're gonna have a power round. We're gonna go through all 3 stations first, 3 times through 30 seconds each, just like class, and then we'll go through our entire endurance round. So starting with station number 1, power here, we have a chameleon burpee. So again, 3 times through 30 seconds. You're gonna find your mat, you're gonna come down like your regular burpee, but instead of jumping out to a plank, you're gonna jump out and kiss your butt to your heels, and then you're gonna jump back in, stand up, back down, out and back, kind of like a stretch, in and up. So you're gonna feel it a little bit more in your quads. Your second exercise, you have a sit through to a reverse bridge. So you're gonna line yourself up so your hands are under your shoulders, and when you come up, your knees are right over your ankles, and you have a 90-degree angle. Now, if you have yoga blocks or like 2 pots or books, thick books, anything that you can use to elevate your surface here under your hands, you might want to do that. So you're going to come up explosively into your bridge, roll your shoulders down, push from your glutes and your hamstrings, and then you're going to push through your hands and slide your hips up and back. So you're going to drive up and then weave back down, trying to keep your hips off the ground. Now your third exercise for first station, we have squat thrusters. So right here, you're going to grab your 2 moderate to light objects, feet a little bit wider than hip distance. You're going to come down into your squat and explode up objects overhead, down and up. Right here. So that is our first station for power. So your second station for power, we are starting with a low to high wood chopper on the right side. So your feet are going to be, again, about hip distance apart. What you're going to do, so coming towards your right side, you're going to come down, you're going to rotate, so twist through your toes, twisting your hips, come down, and you're going to come back up to the other side, extend, push through that far leg, and up. So down, I guess it'd be easier on a less grippy surface. So down and up, down and up. So we have that 30 seconds on this side. Go a little bit slower if the rotation is difficult for you. And then we have 30 seconds on the left side here. Then our third exercise, we just have overhead high knees. So sorry in advance, this is gonna shake a lot when I jump. So you're gonna come hands overhead. When we're here, we wanna make sure we tuck our hips and tuck our ribs in as best as we can. So right here, and we're gonna go overhead high knees. So of course, low impact, take it down. We'll provide all of those during class. Our final station for power, we have explosive elbow rows. So you're just gonna lie down on your back. Right here, position your legs as whatever is comfortable. You're gonna bring your elbows as if you were rowing something. Find that position where they come to your back. From here, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you, and you're gonna explode up, push through your elbows, and come back down. Up and down. So it's a little bit stressful on the neck, so take breaks as you need. Then afterwards, we're just gonna flip over into donkey kicks. I'm gonna give 2 modifications here. So if you are okay to jump, you're gonna find your bear crawl position, lift the knees up an inch, make sure you're bent in. We need to start with some spring underneath us. So shift your weight into your hands. You're going to donkey kick up and gently come back down. Heels to the butt and come back down. If you don't feel comfortable jumping, shift your weight into your hands, and all you're gonna do is explode up onto your toes and come right back down into your bear crawl position. But shift your weight forward, super important. Our final move, we're grabbing our large object with a handle, and we have our swing. So starting on the ground in front of us, right here, hinge at the hips, then bend at the knees until you can reach your object with a flat back. Swing it in. We're using our hips here to push, okay? But we're keeping really, really tight and straight up at the top, so we're not pushing forward with our low back. Think about just driving that energy through but keeping this really tight at the end. So that's it for power. Onto our endurance rounds. Okay, so endurance station number 1. For endurance, we're going 90 seconds each exercise, 1 time through, and that's it. So we have a walkout push-up to 4 wide mountain climbers to start. So starting at the edge of your space, reach it down, walk it out, give me a push-up. Then once you're back here, your 4 wide mountain climbers, I want you to try and get your toes past your fingers and your feet outside your hands. So starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, back, walk it out and up, and then you do it again. Down, push up, 4, out wide. Then our second one, we have a bridge to ham curl. So if you have your object that slides, you can use this. I also just happen to have a stability ball, so if you have one too, I'll use this. So you're going to start with your heels either on the floor on top of your towel or on top of your ball, 90 degrees in the knees. Press up, extend, drive your heels in, lift the hips as you come back in, and drive back down. Up, out, in, and down. So that one. And then we have our third here, overhead alternating reverse lunges. So you can choose to do this without any weight or just with a light weight. You're gonna bring hands or object overhead. Again, ribs tucked in, hips tucked in. You can have a slight bend in your elbow if that helps, okay? Again, really keeping focus on the ribs, abs in super tight, and you're just gonna alternate. If this becomes too much, you just bring your arms down and then continue from there. Then our second endurance station, we are gonna have oblique V-ups to start. So we're gonna just switch halfway, 45 seconds each side. When you start flat on your tailbone, just roll over to one butt cheek. So you're not totally on your hip. You're still pretty much facing up, but only one butt cheek is your base. From here, you can come back on your forearm. Like starting straight if you can. You're gonna come back, stretch, feeling it right here on top, and then come up together. If straight legs is too much, you're gonna bend your knees in, and then halfway, we'll switch to the other side. Then our second exercise, we have a skull crusher with an alternating leg lower. So focus on the skull crusher if you have a hard time with coordination, but if you can hit both, go for it. 1 or 2 weights, elbows slightly behind our shoulders. Feet are gonna start up, our lower back is pressing into the floor. As we come down into our skull crusher, we're gonna drop a leg, keeping sure our back is pressed down, extend, come back together, drop, and up, keeping your shoulders down and back away from the ears. If a straight leg is too much, you can bend your knees, and then you can just drop your heel to the ground. If you need a little bit of help keeping your low back on the ground while your hands are not available to come under you. Worst case, not worst case, but if you really are having trouble or getting fatigued, just drop your hips down and keep going with your skull crushers. Then our final move for our second station, you're going to grab your mini band if you have it. Really no big deal if you don't, you're still gonna do the movements. So it's up to you where you have your band. Shins is gonna be more difficult, above the knee is gonna be a little bit less difficult with the same resistance. So it's up to you. Down your mat, you're gonna stay low. You're gonna go your in and out squats. Then once you get to the end, you're gonna keep your feet wide and you're gonna monster walk back. Okay, so making sure our knees are staying relatively over our ankles and they're not buckling in like this. Okay, and you feel it in your glutes. Then our final endurance station, we're gonna bring our band if we have one. If not, I'll show you the alternative. Our palms are gonna face up. We have our pull aparts. So keeping your hands level with the center of your chest, not too high, not too low. You're gonna pull it apart, straight arms the whole time. You're squeezing the back of your shoulder, okay, and relaxing them down. So aiming here. If you do not have a band, you're you're gonna grab your two objects and instead you're gonna give me a reverse fly. If this bothers your low back at any point, you just come up to rest. Then our second exercise, we have a sumo squat to a bicep curl. Grab whatever object you'd like, feet out wide, toes out wide. Chest stays up nice and high. You're gonna push the knees to the back of the room as you lower, and then as you come up, bicep curl, or if you wanna curl at the bottom, it's totally up to you. Makes it hold it down there for a second, or if not, you come curl when you stand up. Then our final move, bear walkout, high to low plank. So either starting from a tall position or from your low squat, whatever feels more comfortable, you're gonna find your bear position, okay? So if you want, you can add a little push up here. If not, you're just gonna give me one high to low plank on each side while your knees stay under your hips in your bear. Walk it back in, stand it up. So emphasizing the legs in the walk back, not just walking back and using your back to stand up. Try and come back into a low position, using the legs, and then you go again. So that's it for today, guys. Enjoy the same workout for Noon with Andy, 5:30 with me live, and see you soon.